In today's video, we will talk about the 9 flexibility training mistakes you are currently making that are preventing you from getting your full 180-degree side split. Is it the training frequency, improper warm-up, random flexibility training, or is it something else? Today, we'll reveal the 9 flexibility training mistakes you are currently making and, most importantly, how to correct them. Before we go any further, we ask that you please like and subscribe to this channel. Mistake number 1. Wrong flexibility training frequency. Simply put, training frequency is how many times a week you work on your flexibility. Not training the right number of times can affect your flexibility greatly. Too little or too many times a week can cause setbacks, in some cases even injuries. So, what is the golden rule of training frequency for flexibility? How much is too much? How much is too little? The correct flexibility training frequency for most people is about 3 times a week, or every 48 hours. Flexibility training frequency depends on the number of rounds, or how many times you repeat a stretch. Training frequency can depend on how familiar you are and accustomed to your flexibility training routine. The more familiar you are, the more used to the routine, the more often you can do it. But what does more often mean? Does it mean every day? Twice a day? Twice a week? More often does not mean every day or twice a day. It means 3 times a week as opposed to 2 times a week. If you are too eager and you are training every day, your body is not recovering fast enough. If anything, you are accumulating micro damage and inflammation that will eventually stop and quite often reverse the progress. If your training is very infrequent, on the other hand, you lose the flexibility that you've gained. For example, if you train every 5 days or every 6-7 days or more, your body loses the flexibility it has gained and you get stuck in one place. Mistake number 2. Improper strength and flexibility. Warm-up. This one seems so obvious, but it has a deeper meaning than you think. There is a difference between a warm-up and a proper warm-up. A warm-up is better than no warm-up at all, but it may not be a proper warm-up. Running is good. Walking is good, jump rope is good, and jumping jacks are good. But if you are stretching your adductors and hamstrings and some of the hip flexors, you want to warm up these particular muscles. And if you are going to support your flexibility with strength exercises, which is super essential, and we'll cover that next, you must warm up the muscles that you will use during strength exercises as well. The muscles that will be used to support your flexibility. So, your workout must be planned, and your warm-up must be planned as well to prepare specific muscles to be stretched and strengthened for optimal flexibility gains. Mistake number 3. Random flexibility training. Very often, we find that people do not stick to a schedule when working on their flexibility, nor do they gradually build up the number of rounds. A very important component. Many who are trying to get a side split usually do it the following way. They sit down and do a little bit of stretching. Sometimes they hold the stretch one time, sometimes multiple times, sometimes for 30 seconds, sometimes for a minute, etc. This does not lead to improvement. In the easy flexibility system, we do not recommend holding stretches or doing anything like that, period. It has to be a gradual process. Number of rounds matters. In the easy flexibility system, 1 round is comprised of stretching and strengthening exercises. The more rounds you do, the more and faster results you see. However, you must gradually build up your number of rounds for maximum results. The fastest flexibility results for most people come between 5 and 6 rounds. So, your flexibility training must be scheduled, and it must be gradual. Your training cannot be random if you are looking to actually master a side split. Mistake number 4. Not supporting your flexibility training with movement and stretching. During our research, we found that people who supported their flexibility training with their sports activities such as dance or martial arts retained flexibility better. So, we created specific strength exercises and specific movement exercises and combined them with flexibility exercises. This allowed the flexibility gained to be retained, so that when you train one day and then you train the next day, you don't start from 0 again, you start more flexible than the day before. And of course, strength training and flexibility and movement training has a lot of other benefits besides just flexibility retention. It encourages deeper flexibility during the training session. It allows the flexibility to right away be transferred into target skills, such as if you are looking to do a side tilt in dance or a high kick in martial arts or any other skill, there's a transfer over right away. Mistake number 5. Using the standard old, relaxed stretching for your side splits training. You know the drill. You sit down, bring your legs apart, sit there for a while. Maybe stretch to one leg, stretch to the other leg, and hope for the best. And while there are definitely people out there that have gotten their splits this way, for most it is an outdated old method that leads to nowhere, except disappointment. The fastest way is focusing on one muscle at a time, using target and leverage principles to lengthen the muscle, without having to fight the stretch reflex by using multiple actions of the same muscle against each other. This target and leverage principle is what we use in our Easy Flexibility Side Splits training program. We focus on one muscle at a time, which allows for fast, safe, and easy progress. Mistake number 6, poor nutrition. Nutrition and hydration cannot be overlooked. And while this sounds simple enough, most people have very poor nutrition when it comes to flexibility training. And while young people can get away with poor diet when working on their splits, for adults it's a completely different story. The importance of nutrition goes beyond the splits flexibility training. What you eat directly influences the type of nutrients that your body receives in order to get you to feel your best. If you have poor eating habits, you are more likely to experience cramps, spasms, soreness, bruised feeling, and pulled muscles. And of course, this transfers over into splits training. Mistake number 7. Not focusing on your flexibility training. Let's say that you are a runner and your primary goal is running, but you decided that you also want to be able to do a side split. So you start stretching for your side split here and there, occasionally. This is a big problem as far as splits training is concerned. Whether you are a weightlifter, a runner, a tennis player, a swimmer, or whatever other activity it is that you primarily do. If you don't dedicate specific sessions like we talked about before, the proper warm-up, proper strength training, proper flexibility, special dedicated sessions to your split training, your progress will lag behind. Remember that bit about poor nutrition? Well, your body only gets a certain amount of nutrition, vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, amino acids. And if you do a lot of activities, there can be a lot of micro damage in the muscles and tendons all over the body. Many physiological changes that must be repaired. If your body is repairing your back, your shoulders, your chest, your quadriceps, and your abdominals, and everything at the same time, it doesn't have that much left to repair the tissues that get adjusted during your splits training. Thus, if you do a lot of activities together, your splits progress will lag. You can still get your splits. A lot of people do while doing many activities at the same time. It is just going to take longer. This applies to not only working on your splits and doing other sport activities at the same time. This also applies to you doing many different flexibility training at the same time. For example, if you are working on your back and on your shoulders, on your glutes, on your hip flexors, and everything at the same time, your progress will still lag, as opposed to if you just focus, get one skill first, maintain it, and move on to the next skill. In the Easy Flexibility System, we have programs for all the different skills that you could possibly want to master, as well as programs broken up by various muscle groups to get you flexible as fast as possible. You can see a catalog of all our programs at easyflexibility.com. Mistake number 8. Not increasing the number of rounds. This is a big one. Very often when people contact us who are using the Easy Flexibility programs asking for advice, most often the question is about the number of rounds that they should do. A round in the Easy Flexibility System refers to all the stretching exercises followed by all the strength exercises. Most people will usually do 2 rounds and for one reason or another forget to increase the number of rounds in their stretching workout. Once reminded to gradually increase their flexibility training to 5 to 6 rounds, their flexibility and maintenance of that progress increases exponentially. Mistake number 9. Being discouraged by false advertising and false promises. This happens all the time. You see a YouTube video where someone tells you that if you use their splits routine, you'll get your splits in 1 session, a day, in 5 minutes no matter what. You buy into their promise and try the program one time, which leaves you super sore. You try again and get nowhere. Nothing happens. You still don't have your split after trying their 5-minute splits training program. This only leads to you being discouraged. But all that happened is you fell for their marketing clickbait, for a promise that cannot possibly be real. No, you cannot get your split in 5 minutes. That is simply impossible. It doesn't work that way. You might get your splits fast if you have some flexibility already, and you meet all the flexibility requirements for a split. But the training sessions are not going to be 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Getting a split is an investment of time and dedication, where you train the right way and stick to your training until you get results. The only sure way you can know how long it will take you to do your splits is to start using the program. Track your progress, see your way to improvement, and then you would know when you're going to get your split. We have developed a free Stretch 180 app that calculates the date that you will get your split based on your training results. This app is very accurate, based on thousands of people that have gotten their 180-degree splits using the easy flexibility programs by the predicted date of our Stretch 180 app. If you want to improve your splits, we invite you to try out a free Zychik stretching technique and supporting exercise. Visit the link posted below this video and be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.